welcome to this workshop. I am super excited to be hosting this. And for those who are joining live, you will have some special little treats that I will mention at the end of the workshop, but obviously I will not record that because I want it to be specials for the people who are in the live. So yeah, let's get going. What will we cover today? So what we'll cover today is how I stopped binge eating and got into the best shape of my life, why you are binge eating and why most people stop binge eating, why just eating enough food isn't actually enough to stop binge eating. You know, those people who say, oh, it's all about just eating enough food. It's all about, you know, the diets. They're just like, you know, all you need to do is just increase your food and then you stop binge eating. And we're also gonna cover how you can actually lose weight and stop binge eating at the same time. Because guys, it is absolutely possible. And people who say that you can't, they're full of shit and they obviously don't know what they're doing. So if you're watching this playback or live, make sure to book in a free call with me. All you need to do is you scan this code and you get a free consultation call with me. This is more like a get to know you, like, hey, how are you going? And you know, what are you struggling with? How can I possibly help you? It goes for just 15 minutes. And it's really, there's no obligation to sign up or anything like that. I literally just want to get to know you, see how I can help. And you know, if you're a good fit for a empowered woman, amazing. If not, then I can probably refer you to someone else who will be a better fit. So definitely make sure you get your little phone and you scan this, because I obviously love talking. So if I could just be in calls all day, every day, I'd be so happy. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ellen, obviously, and I am the founder of the Empowered Women program. I am qualified in CBT, ACT, and NLP. So this is cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, and a neurolinguistic programming. So I have quite a lot of qualifications. I am also qualified in sports nutrition, although I don't coach nutrition anymore. I do coach intuitive eating, but I don't really coach specific, you know, macro targets and stuff like that. I also work as an educator and writer for the Women's Fitness Academy, and I host my own podcast called the Unfiltered Empowered Woman podcast. So if you enjoyed this workshop and you like, oh my God, I need to learn more from her, make sure to do go and follow the potty, because I post every single week, release, how do you say it? Release episodes every single week, and it's just such a great tool for you to be able to learn more in, you know, in your car, on your walks, on the treadmill, when you're training, you know, when you're not doing anything. I love podcasts. So from my own personal story then, for those of you who don't know, I started binge eating when I was probably 16 years old. And for me, it came very much from a place of, I'd been anorexic for about, like on and off for about 2 years. And once I finally started to recover, I basically just swapped my addiction for not eating for an addiction to eating. So I would just alternate between the two. I would either not eat or I would just binge eat. And I would always be dieting. Like that was I literally was dieting since from the age of 14 to the age of 24, 25. So, you know, over like 26, maybe like, you know, 10, 12 years of always dieting. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's so crazy. And so many people are doing that. I would go from diet to diet. I would start, you know, paleo on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday I'd have a slip up and I would be like, oh, fuck it, I've blown it. I'm just going to binge. What's the point? And then I would just, you know, throw it all away. And then I would start a new diet the next day, or I would be like, oh, well, I'm just going to start on Monday because whatever, what's the point? Like start tomorrow or start on Monday was literally my motto. I thought that food was the problem. So I would always be looking at foods. I would always be thinking like, okay, well, it's just about the food. Like I just need to be stricter. I need more willpower. I just need a stricter diet. I just need something that I can stick to, something that I enjoy more. And I would just constantly be gaining or losing weight. Like as soon as I got into my weight loss goal, it was kind of like, okay, well, what's the point? It would either be, oh no, I need to lose more weight, or I would be like, okay, well, I've gone to my goal now. How do I maintain this? And then I would just binge, put all the way back on, and then I would start another diet. Literally every single Monday, I would wake up with a food hangover. Like I remember when I was binging and I would look back to my past weekends and think, fuck, I have not had a weekend in years that I haven't binged on. And it was almost like the weekends became like my free card for binging. Like at one point, I was actually so excited to binge on the weekends that I didn't even think I had a problem until I woke up on the Monday with a food hangover. You know, my face would be bloated, my skin would be terrible. I would literally have pain in my body because I'd eaten so much food. And sometimes it wasn't even about the chocolate. Like, yeah, it might have started off with the chocolate, but then I would, like at one point I was eating dry pasta out of the packet, or, you know, I would go to McDonald's and buy a family size meal and eat it at some random street and throw the rubbish in the bin. Like, I was excited about doing these things. It was almost like I got like a kick out of like, ooh, how much can I eat today? And how can I like hide it so that no one finds out? Which is so crazy, but I know so many of you guys would be able to relate to this as well. Now my body comp stays the same. Yeah, sure, I might gain a couple of kilos here or there, and that's normal. We all do that. Our bodies are literally just a representation of what is currently going on for us, and that's perfect. But mainly I stay basically the same. Sometimes I'm a couple of kilos heavier if I'm gone out a bit more, if I've eaten out a bit more, if I haven't, you know, if I'm around my period, for example, but then I might drop those kilos, and I really don't pay attention to what my body weighs. I literally have zero cravings, and this is something that's very new for me in the last year. I always thought that I was just this food-focused person. I just love food, and I was like, people who don't think about food 24/7, there's something wrong with them or they're lying, because I actually don't think about food. I'm like, oh, like I've become one of those people who get to the end of the day and it's like, oh, I haven't eaten anything today. Like, what the hell? Like, I never ever thought I'd be like that, but I am like that now, and I want to teach you how you can be like that as well. I literally haven't touched my fitness pal in years. I think I deleted it 2 years ago now, and I feel better than ever. My body looks fucking banging, if I say so myself. My booty's popping, and I'm not tracking anything. And I haven't binged since 2018. So yay me, but this can also happen for you. And I want to show a testimonial from my client Kat to show you that this is possible for you, it's possible for me, it's possible for her. We're not different to you, we're not better than you, we were not more broken, and you're not more broken. We were just completely normal people like you who had a problem with binge eating, who thought that food was the answer, and we decided to get help and try something different. So I worked with a mindset coach. I've done so much study myself, you know, studied over 10 years of learning this stuff. And now I get to help people overcome binge eating in less than 12 weeks. So it doesn't take them 12 years like it did for me. So Kat is someone who stopped binge eating at week 8. Most of my girls actually stop binge eating at week 6. Some people stop after the first call. Like, how insane is that? This is how well the program actually works. She has removed her food focus. She's lost 8 kilos and lighter, is now lighter than when she was, what she was before she started binge eating. So the message she sent me reads, "Hi Ellen, I hope you're well." This is on Instagram, by the way. "I just wanted to let you know that after finishing your program, I've now lost another 4 kilos on my own, and I haven't even tried. I've just been using the tools you've given me and focus on my mindset and not going on autopilot. I wish I knew it was this easy before, and I didn't waste all those programs, those years on dieting programs," laughing faces. So that makes it total 8 kilos since we first started. "And I'm now lighter than I was before I started binge eating, and I feel amazing. So thank you." Well, thank you for trusting me with this and for proving to women all over the world that this is indeed possible. So what is then binge eating? Well, binge eating isn't just going out for dinner and having some dessert with your friends. Binge eating is eating to a point past fullness. There's no certain amount of calories that is qualified as binge eating. It's just about eating to a point where you are so physically full that you feel like if you eat any more, you're gonna explode. Some people purge, some people use laxative, stuff like that, which I obviously am not encouraging. And if you are using that, please get help ASAP, because that's super harmful to you. Binge eating is when you can't, sometimes you don't even enjoy the foods you're eating. It's just about getting to that fullness place. It feels like you're on autopilot, you know that you should stop, but you just can't. It's like something has taken over your body and it's like controlling your actions. Like you're an autopilot and it's like, why am I doing this? Like it's like I remember for me, it was like almost like watching myself from above, but I just couldn't stop myself for some reason. Or sometimes I would be standing in front of the freezer, eating ice, like with the freezer open, eating ice cream out of the bucket with a fork, because in my mind I was like, well, if I'm eating with a fork and if I'm leaving the door open, I'm only gonna have a little bit. That never ever worked, guys, ever. I always finish the whole tub. Binge eating, the main thing is how you feel before, during, and after. So before, you have this intense, like, hyperfixation on that food. Like, I need to eat this food, otherwise I'm literally going to die. Like, you don't care how much it costs. You don't care how far you have to drive to get it. You don't care to be late to work. You don't care that the kids are in the car. You don't care that you have to lie to your partner. You just want to eat that food. And then when you're eating it, it's like you're an autopilot, like I said. And after, it's always followed by this intense feeling of guilt and shame that you try and cover up what happened, you lie about your behavior, and literally your worst nightmare is someone finding out what you've done. So this is why I say that binge eating is an addiction, because this is how addicts work. And they have withdrawals, they lie about their behavior, and they feel extremely guilty. So why do we then binge eat? Now, everyone is different, of course, and I'm sure there are other reasons why people can binge eat as well. But the main two reasons that I see is that people either binge to self-soothe and numb themselves, or it become a habit where they're just acting on autopilot. So if you are someone who has experienced a lot of trauma, for example, and guys, remember that trauma doesn't have to be those huge things like abuse and neglect. It could also be that your feelings were never validated growing up, that you were just told, oh, you're crying, go to your room, we don't want to see you if you're not crying. It could be that you were only praised when you were achieving things, and this made you feel like if you're not achieving, if you're not winning, that means you're failing. It could be that you only got love and validation when you were being a good girl, so that you feel like any kind of emotion that could potentially wreck that's not a quote unquote good girl, means that you're being bad, and instead of feeling the bad, you eat. And when we're younger, we don't actually know how to regulate our nervous systems, because with kids, we don't know how to regulate. We don't know what's true or what's not true. We only know what's in front of us. We only know what we're told. So as kids, we look to adults to help co-regulate. So this is what it means why you use another nervous system to regulate your own nervous system. If we're not taught this in childhood, we will develop coping mechanisms to deal with these uncomfortable emotions, because you can only push something down for so long. You know, emotions are energy in motion. And if this energy gets stuck, well, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to come out as depression, anxiety, self-sabotage, eating, drinking, sleeping around, scrolling on Instagram, saying nasty things. You know, this is how, when we become reactive, so that we numb or distract ourselves with food. It can become a habit, an autopilot, where it is a emotion behind it, but it can be quite hard to understand. So this is, for example, when you come home from work and you just graze all day, all night, and all of a sudden you've eaten like 3 blocks of chocolate and a bag of crisps. It could be from boredom, that you're just sitting at home and you're like, I have nothing to do, this is really boring, this is really uncomfortable, so I'm just going to eat to keep myself occupied. It can be that you convince yourself that you want to eat, and that you get excited by the thought of binge eating. So that used to happen to me. Like, I used to go to a party with the intention of, oh, I'm just gonna have fun here, and then the voice would start creeping in of, yeah, but you're gonna have more fun eating. Like, imagine all the ice cream you could eat, no one's home, no one's gonna know, it's so easy to just binge, and that's gonna be more enjoyable than being here with these people. And that binge eating becomes your best friend. It becomes something that you actually look forward to. And if you can recognize yourself in that, then the Empowered Woman is for you. The Empowered Woman is a combination program of one-on-one and group. And this is why it's so successful, because you get the education, you get access to me, and you also have access to the group where women are going through the exact same things as you. This is for you if you want to stop binge eating faster than you ever thought possible. Like I said, so many people stop binge eating even after the first call, and most people have stopped binge eating after week 6. Like, what the hell? Give me another program that has those results. It's for you to join a community where you feel supported and understood. Like, literally, This is the girl gang that you want, but you can't find anywhere because it's like no one knows what my behavior, no one can relate to me, and I feel like I can't open up to anyone else. These are the women that you are going to be able to feel like yourself and like your best self, supported and amazing around. You will also lose weight as a result of stopping binge eating. And you're not going to gain loads of weight, you're not going to feel guilty and ashamed of your behavior, and you're not going to spend hours and hours watching videos, doing tasks, taking things up, because this program is made for the busy bee. I know that your life is fast-paced, I know that you're busy, I know that you don't have time, tons of time and money to spend on a program. This is why the Empowered Woman is affordable, it's easy, and it's for you to get results quickly. So to stop binge eating, we need 4 main things. We need tools to regulate our nervous system. So when we are binge eating, we are acting on autopilot. When we're on autopilot, we are acting from a dysregulated place. So some words like the nervous system is the body, but the mind creates a story to match your body. So when the body is feeling stress, uncomfortable emotions, things that you don't know how to deal with, your mind will then match a story to explain what you're feeling. So when you're feeling anxious, for example, you might start thinking, that's proof that I'm not good enough, I am a failure, see, I can't do it, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, this is too hard, this is not gonna work for me. Or you might feel really like antsy and like often like really like that you need to do more. Your story might create, your mind might create stories about, see, you need to work harder, and it's like if you don't work more, it's never gonna happen for you, and there's something wrong with everyone else, everyone's against you, the whole world is just like giving you shit all the time. You know, this is our mind creating a story about the state in our bodies. So in order to stop binge eating, we need to then regulate our nervous system so that we don't act from that place of dysregulation where we create these intrusive thoughts. We need to rewire our brains. So we need to use cognitive behavioral therapy to understand what are our thoughts, where are they coming from, and what can we then replace them with. So you cannot control your first thought. You know, when you have the thought of I want to binge, we can't control that, but we can control what we want to replace that with. So we can control what would I like to say to myself instead. So even if that you, for example, feel guilty when you eat an almond croissant, for example, and you might start having the thoughts of, oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be eating this, I'm so stupid for eating this, I feel so fat now. Well, first of all, fat is not feeling. But second, you can have these thoughts, but you can still choose to not act on them. And this is the power of regulating your nervous system and learning to let go of thoughts and understanding which thoughts serves me and which thoughts don't. Accountability. The brain hates change. So without accountability and support, you will actually slip back into your old patterns and not even realize that you've slipped back into them. So it will happen minute by minute, like step by step. You will go slowly backtrack, and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck? I gained all that weight back, or I've slept with that guy again, or I've texted that person, or you know, whatever it is that happened for you. And you didn't even, you're like, how am I back here again? Like that's literally what happens when we don't have the accountability and when we don't spend enough time integrating the new skills that we learn. And then the last one is eating enough food. And I know that I said at the start that eating enough food isn't, you know, the main thing, but it does have a play in overcoming binge eating, and I'm going to explain why. Dieting is basically starving your body, but on purpose. So when we're dieting, our bodies are basically like, we're not eating enough food, right? But the body doesn't know that. The body doesn't know that you purposely are not eating enough food. It just thinks, oh, fuck, she's not getting enough food. She must be going through a starvation phase. She must be like, there must be a lack of food here. Oh my God, what can we do to make sure she stays alive? Well, we enter a fight or flight response where we are very, where we are overworking, we're working hard, we're looking for more things to do. You know, the fight or flight response is a sympathetic part of our nervous system that is the doing state. So the body still thinks that it can do something to keep you alive. So you will work more, you will train harder, you will look for more things to do, look for more tasks to take off, look for, I don't know, clients, whatever it is for you. You will literally just be doing more, and you'll be restricting more, you'll be cutting more things out of your diet, you'll be trying to diet harder, and you think that it's all about having more willpower. These are the thoughts that are going to be triggered in the fight or flight response. So when we are then starving ourselves, if we go back, we're starving ourselves, we're triggering the fight or flight because we don't have enough food around, we're stuck in the fight or flight, we're keeping ourselves on autopilot, and your body is literally going to shut off everything else that's not necessary. So when you are, for example, running from a lion, that this is the stress that the body is perceiving right now. The body doesn't understand that you're just dieting on purpose because you want to look you want to lose a few kilos for summer. Your body just sees, okay, stress, she's under stress, she's probably running from something or trying to fight something else. Okay, we need to shut off everything else in the body that she doesn't actually need right now. So this means it will shut off your ability to sit down and learn, your ability to concentrate, your ability to remember things, and your ability to make conscious decisions. So you will never make, like on autopilot, you will not make the best decisions. You will just make decisions based on your experience in the past, what you have trained yourself to do. This, my friends, is where you self-sabotage. So yes, you do need to bring your calories up to take your body out of that fight or flight response. But let's say that you burn around 2,000 calories per day in a normal day. Everyone's, every day is different. Some days you might be super active and you might be running around, you might be burning more calories. Other days you might be laying on the sofa all day and burning less calories. That's okay. Let's just average it out 2,000. This would mean 14,000 calories per week. You are currently trying to be in a deficit and you're eating around 1,500 calories a day. That's what you're aiming for. This would mean that you would be eating 10,500 calories per week. So the previous was 14,000, this is 10,500. So this 3,500 calories less than your maintenance level, which would mean, in theory, that you would lose weight, right? Because 3,500 calories equals to around half a kilo of body fat. But you are binge eating every second day or every weekend, and on those days, your calories are up to around 4,000 a day. And guys, 4,000 is a small number when it comes to binge eating. Most people who binge will eat more than that. This means that your calories will be taken up from 10,500 to now 20,500 calories per week. This equals to around 2,928 calories a day on average. So see how the binge eating has taken you out of the deficit and actually above your maintenance level. So you are not actually in a deficit. You are actually eating more than you would if you took your calories to maintenance. And this is why you're gaining weight, not because you are not because your diet isn't working, not because you have taken your calories to maintenance, it's because you're binge eating. So imagine if you could instead get out of that deficit, like pretend deficit, let's be real here, it's not actually a deficit because you're not sticking to it, and instead put your calories up to 2,000 calories a day, stop your binge eating. That would mean that you would eat 928 calories less every day. So just by stopping binge eating, you will automatically reduce your overall weekly calories because you no longer have those 4,000 calorie days or more. So see how that makes sense if you look at the maths behind here. And if you need to go back and listen to this again and do the math yourself, please feel free to do so. This is why you will lose weight when you stop binge eating, because you will take your body out of that fight or flight state. You will be able to, guys, also keep in mind if you need to follow the other steps. So if you go back to look at that slide, where we need to regulate our nervous system, we need to learn to rewire our brain, and we need the accountability. We can't just eat enough food, because if we just eat enough food, we're not addressing any of these other things. And what's going to happen is that our addiction will come up somewhere else, because we haven't actually addressed the underlying reason why we're binge eating. It's not actually about the food. It's about something that's going on inside of you that you haven't addressed. No matter if that's habit, emotion, autopilot, whatever it is for you, the food is not the answer. The food is just going to help you take yourself out of autopilot and into a state where you can make conscious decision, because you've now regulated. So where people go wrong is that they only focus on the food and they forget about the nervous system regulation and the inner work, just what I said before. This means that you will keep binge eating as you haven't actually addressed the habit and or your emotional response and beliefs in your mind. So what I see a lot happen is that people stop binge eating for a little period and then, oh my God, I'm so happy. But they're only working with a nutrition coach, and the nutrition coach has no tools to give them for how they can then move on when these uncomfortable emotions come up, when they seek out for another addiction. For example, so many people swap their addiction for binge eating for an addiction for tracking. But what then happens when MyFitnessPal is not working a day, or when they want to let go of tracking, or when they hit their weight loss goal, well, what's going to happen? Well, they haven't done any of the nervous system regulation work. They haven't done any of the rewiring the brain work, and they don't have their accountability anymore because they're no longer working with a coach. So what's going to happen is that you will go back and start binge eating again, and it will probably be worse than it was in the first time, because now you are beating yourself up again about, how am I back here again? How did I do all that work and now I'm back here? So you're actually gonna feel worse about yourself than if you would have worked with someone who's a specialist in binge eating and was worked on the problem, got into a healthy place, and then if you still wanted to lose weight, you could have gone into a diet then. But you need to fix your relationship with food and your body first before you start addressing, before you start deficit. So I guess the main point here is that yes, you will lose weight because you stop binge eating, but I do not recommend entering a deficit. So trying a deficit until you've been binge free for, I'm not going to say a number here because everyone's different, but you need to have a very solid mindset. You need to have a regulated nervous system. You need to have great tools to help you not act on these urges. And you need to have a great support system. This is probably the main thing if you want to go on a diet and if you want to make it successful. Otherwise, you will just be stuck in that fight or flight response, and you will just be stuck in the autopilot, the yo-yo dieting for the rest of your life. I've seen it. I know people who are in their 60s or 70s who are still doing this, and I do not want that for you. This is another one of my clients. Her name is Susie. She messaged me and said that she actually messaged me today as well. She said she's down 5 kilos now. But when I put this in here, she was down another 2 kilos without tracking. And she's so happy with it all, going to continue this week as I have been, and each day taking notice of how I feel, and grateful to feel that food is not controlling me anymore for once in my life. Like, how amazing is that? This realization just occurred to me since our phone call 4 weeks ago, that I haven't even overindulged or binged at night or during the day. I had dessert as desired, but had complete control. So this lady and I did a call at her first week, and she did not binge after that. Like, how fucking amazing is that? And this is possible for you too. You just have to actually go for it. This is the only thing that's stopping you, that you thinking that you can't do it, and you not being willing to put that investment into yourself. But honey, you are worth it. Stop believing those thoughts saying that you're not, and listen to people like Susie and myself. Because Susie stopped binge eating after our first call. She's discovering more and more gratitude in her life every day. She has dessert, but she feels in control. She lost 2 kilos in her first 4 weeks without even trying. And she is actually someone who's gone onto a deficit now, like a gym challenge, and she has lost 5 kilos. Like, this is not a crazy, like, weird success story. Like, this is actually something that's possible for you. And I want this to happen for you, because nothing breaks my heart more than seeing people struggle with binge eating, but then not being willing to invest in themselves and try something new, and keep going back to the same old nutrition coach who tells them to track every single thing that they eat, weigh themselves daily, and just journal their thoughts. Like, this is not going to work, guys. Like, you need the actual tools if you want to be able to stop binge eating for good. You can still have body composition goals and focus on stopping binge eating. You don't have to remove your goals. I'm not going to tell you to stop wanting to look a certain way. I'm not going to tell you to stop working on your body, because I'm working on my body. That's great. It's like, I just moved into this new house and I love it, but there's still things that I want to improve. That doesn't mean that I can't be happy with what my house looks like now. And the same thing goes for you. You don't have to remove your goals. You just need to learn how to rephrase them so that you don't trigger the body's survival kit, stress, so that you don't go into a freeze or fawn mode, that you don't get stuck in fight or flight. When you stop binge eating, you will automatically lose weight. When the body feels safe, it's going to automatically let go of those extra kilos that it's been holding on to because it thought that it needed it. Because if you're running from a lion, or if you have to fight off a bunch of villages, of course your body's going to want to hold on to that extra energy. But when your body feels safe, it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, we don't need to hold on to this weight anymore. So we're just going to let go of it because we're safe. Once you learn how to regulate your nervous system and for your body to feel safe, you'll also stop craving processed food. Because this processed food, the purpose of that is for you to self-soothe, is for you to numb yourself. It's because you're craving something that you cannot get because you're suppressing. When you stop suppressing, when you allow all emotions to flow, and when you understand how to regulate yourself, so that when you get anxious, you can feel the anxiety, but then come back to normal, or the regulated state. That when you're feeling sad, you can be sad, and then you can come back to being regulated. That when you're angry or jealous or going through grief or trauma, whatever it is that you're going through, that you can feel it, but then have the tools to come back to the present moment and actually feel good in your body. And this is so possible for you as well. Studies have shown that only about 50% of people with binge eating disorder actually recover. Please do not be one of those people. Please, that is my only request. Please get help. Don't be like the other 50% who never reach for help because they never feel like they're bad enough, or they keep telling themselves that they can't afford it, or whatever it is, because you can. Just imagine, how much are you spending on binge eating now? I bet it's over, for me, it was like $200 a week. That's a lot of money. What you're going to notice is that if you sign up for something, that, yeah, that might be a cost, but the cost of stopping binge eating also means that you're going to have more money left for other things because you're no longer spending that money on food. You're going to have more time to experience things and be with your friends and family, and maybe, you know, go on a date, find a partner, because you are no longer looking for, you're no longer spending all that time eating. You're spending that time actually living. You are going to get your life back. And what the hell? Who can say that there's a price on your life? You are the one putting the price on your life. You're the one putting a price on your house. You are worth investing in. So please stop listening to that voice in your mind telling you that you don't deserve it, that you can do it yourself, and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I actually committed to something? And what would my life look like if I keep doing what I'm doing now in the next 10 years? I'm looking for 4 women who wants to stop binge eating in just 90 days. If you haven't stopped binge eating in 90 days, or at least significantly reduced it, I will literally give you your money back, because I don't want your money if I can't help you. So my premium program is a one-on-one program with a lot of access to me. You get fortnightly one-on-one calls, you get unlimited WhatsApp, and all inclusions of signature. This program is $3,600 for 12 weeks. This is Aussie dollars, by the way. My signature program is my most popular program because it's so affordable. Like, don't even try and tell me that you're spending less than $69 a week on food, because I know that you're not. That even just a meal from Uber Eats is like $30, $40, plus all the ice cream, plus all the crisps, plus all the chocolates, donuts, everything else that you're buying. It's definitely going to be over $69 a week. Imagine if you could instead spend that money on something that's going to change your life forever. Once I fill these spots, I will close the intake, and I'm going to open up again at the end of August when I'm back from Europe. And by then, I am going to include more one-on-one time with me, adding more modules, and obviously increase the price because you're going to have more access to me. So you're going to have monthly calls instead of monthly one-on-one calls. And you're going to still have group calls that they're going to be every week. And it's going to be, the money will be twice a week. I haven't fully decided on this yet, guys. But just know that the price is going to go up. So if you sign up now for only $69 a week, or $828 for the 12 weeks, you will have lifetime access to this program for $69 a week, but you will also have all the inclusions that are coming in August. So make sure that you sign up, because once these spots are gone, they will be gone and the price will be gone as well. I will literally delete the link. So at the moment, you get fortnightly group coaching calls with me. You get a fortnightly check-in with me. You have one-on-one calls every 8 weeks, and also unlimited support in the empowerment group chat and weekly educational modules and workbooks. This is my stop binge eating blueprint, but it also applies to all forms of self-sabotage, guys. In these group coaching calls, you can ask me questions, you can watch the other girls get coached, you can sit as a fly on the wall if you want. It's completely up to you, but you also have one-on-one access to me in the group chat any day of the week, because you can ask me anything in there and I will answer it. And you don't have to just do it on your one-on-one day. You can ask me anything at any time. So for just $69 a week, you're literally going to get a pocket coach that will talk to you every day. Like, doesn't get better than that, guys. And this is also why my program is so successful, because it combines all these amazing things and put them into one. So like I said, it's going to be first in, best dressed. Once these spots are filled, this limited time offer will be gone. And you'll have to wait till September if you don't sign up now. Change doesn't just happen. When have you ever just, oh, I just changed? That doesn't freaking happen. You make a conscious decision to make it happen. And remember, ready isn't a feeling. It's a choice. You have to choose to be ready. Because if you're just going to be like, oh, I'll do it when I'm ready. Honey, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to feel like you're going to jump off that cliff. You're never going to take the leap. You have to commit. You have to follow your gut feeling. If you keep watching like my part, if you have watched this far on the webinar, if you are still here, you know that you want this. So stop holding yourself back and imagine what your life could look like if you actually went for it. The best case scenario, you have stopped binge eating, you've lost weight, you feel amazing in your body, you have new confidence, maybe you make more money, maybe you have a new partner, maybe you have a new house, opportunities, work, who knows? The list is literally endless. If it doesn't work, you'll literally just be in the exact same spot as you are now, with just as much money, because I'll refund you the whole amount. So what have you really got to lose? Right? Thank you so much for watching, guys. And please reach out if you have any feedback from today. And yeah, thank you for being here. And I love you all. Bye.